Alrighty, might as well go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the second GnosisDAO community call. Thanks for taking the time to join. Should have a pretty exciting agenda today. So first thing we'll do is just a quick update on the kind of current GIPs, Gnosis improvement proposals. Then we'll take a deep dive into a couple of proposals, in particular the SafeSnap proposal and the Gnosis Auction proposal, and then a live demo of Gnosis Auction by Hen. So I guess with that, we'll dive in and start kind of going through everything. There's a link at the top there for any Q&A. If you guys have questions, feel free to post them there. And then if you bear with me just a second. If you have questions, feel free to post them at the link there at the top of the screen. We'll try to enter them either during the flow of the talk today or otherwise at the end. With that in mind, just a quick overview of the GnosisDAO. The GnosisDAO is essentially committed to the mission of stewarding the Gnosis ecosystem. The kind of primary question here is, what if a community could have a share in an entire ecosystem success? And so what we're talking about here in terms of an entire ecosystem is basically the Gnosis ecosystem, giving the GnosisDAO effective control over around 150,000 Ether and 8 million GNO tokens vested over 8 years, and then using and kind of dogfooding the ecosystem of products that Gnosis has been producing over the last few years and will continue to produce. Onto our GIP update, just some kind of quick stats on the GIP statuses. We've had 7 GIPs to date, most of them having been successful and a handful still active in stage 2 and 3. We'll dive into a proposal deep dive here. So the first one that we'll talk about is the should GnosisDAO enable SafeSnap proposal. This one is in phase 1 right now, so it's not live for voting, but it is live for comments. People should jump in and check out the forum post. There's a link to it actually in chat right now. I just posted it as a response to someone else. So feel free to follow that link, or else we can drop one again in chat later. But the summary is this is a proposal to update the GnosisDAO's governance structure in a way that keeps the benefits of off-chain voting via snapshot while allowing for trustless and permissionless on-chain execution using the recently released DAO module and SafeSnap plugin. To dive more into that, there's also a link in chat for the blog post that introduced SafeSnap as a really high-level overview. What it essentially does, we have a Gnosis Safe module that queries reality.eth, which is a escalation game-based oracle. So the module queries the oracle for the outcome of an off-chain vote. So we essentially rely on this escalation game-based oracle to correctly give us the outcome of this off-chain event on Snapshot. And the motivation for this proposal is essentially that the current governance structure is designed to be maximally inclusive. It's gas-free voting with delegation. This, however, comes at the cost of some additional trust in the system. Primarily, the GnosisDAO must trust that the Gnosis Safe multisig will faithfully execute its will on-chain. So in order to make the GnosisDAO more autonomous, we should meaningfully give it control over its on-chain assets, and SafeSnap is a way that we can do that without compromising on that inclusive nature of decision-making. We'll go ahead and move on to the Gnosis Auction. And I guess at this point I can hand it over to Chen for a demo, I guess like the first few slides. And do you want me to keep presenting the slides, or do you want to switch over and share your screen from here on?
Cool, thanks, Orin. Yeah, I think I prefer to share my screen, so let me try and do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about SafeSnap. I think also Gnosis Auction plays into this nicely with another tool for teams to actually distribute their tokens and raise funds, and then also handing over the control over to the community with SafeSnap.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if you can see my screen now.
We can see your screen, yeah.
Okay,
if you want to go to presenting mode.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. And yeah, I think Gnosis Auction is a really great addition to that tool set in terms of enabling DAO critical functionality. So I'm really excited. And then obviously it has a whole bunch of use cases outside of that as well.
Yeah, cool. So I'll start from a little bit from the beginning. So Gnosis has some rich background with experimenting and working with auction mechanisms. Dates back to the fundraise of Gnosis itself, which was I think the first Dutch auction deployed and actually on Ethereum. And yeah, so last year we launched Gnosis Protocol version 1, and although it was intended for a kind of general purpose trading, which was definitely happening, so another use case that emerged and we didn't really anticipate initially was teams actually using it for distributing their tokens. And this is, I think, mainly because of a few nice properties of Gnosis protocol, which was front-running resistance and nice price discovery properties. So we actually saw a bunch of those IDOs happening on Gnosis protocol, which kind of led to the idea of developing a platform that is more specifically targeted at this kind of use cases. So this led to the proposal for the GnosisDAO to develop this platform, Gnosis Auction, and once this proposal has passed, we started actually implementing this, and yeah, we're really excited about it. So I'll go through few of the properties or nice thing about Gnosis Auction. So it uses a batch auction, which enables it to really be an efficient price discovery mechanism, and this is useful for a bunch of use cases. So, for example, there's initial text offering, which I was already kind of talking about, and happened on Gnosis protocol, and then now since Gnosis Auction launched already we saw like a really successful IDO happening on Gnosis Auction as well. So this is definitely one of the use cases. And then there's all kind of other trades that are also could happen on Gnosis Auction. For example, collateral auctions, token buybacks, which the YFI community decided recently to use Gnosis Auction for that. So they have used, I think, roughly $1 million of proceeds from their own protocol, which they earned, and they used it to buy back YFI tokens and burn them. So it's useful for all kind of large trades that is most probably will be prone to front running if you send them into AMMs, and they actually might move the price quite a bit. And in this case, this price finding mechanism is really helpful. Yeah, and maybe also undiscovered use cases, as we saw with GP, the first iteration of Gnosis protocol. We hope to see more and more use cases that people just start using Gnosis Auction, whatever they find it useful for. Yeah, I have here a few more. I think I highlighted most of them, but yeah, I think we improved the friendliness of the user experience compared to the Gnosis protocol. So now there's no need to deposit first and withdraw. So just bidding on the interface, and also the way auctioneers or teams forced to start an IDO is really simple, and I'm going to demonstrate this a little bit later. And yeah, it's fully permissionless. So the only parameter that is controlled by GnosisDAO is the fee. And that's the only part that is that could be changed in Gnosis protocol and Gnosis auction smart contracts. So currently the fee is set to 0. We want to encourage teams to use Gnosis auctions, but in the future, GnosisDAO might want to increase the fee. It could increase it up to 1.5% of the auctioned tokens. Yeah, I think that's the main things. And I'll just go directly to show you the way you set up a Gnosis auction. So basically, you have to first create a Gnosis safe for yourself, and actually, it's not strictly required. Like a Gnosis auction could be also set up from any address, but we definitely recommend to do it from a Gnosis safe, and we have the graphical user interface in a Gnosis safe as a Gnosis safe app. So once you have your Gnosis safe set up and you have the tokens that you want to auction in your Gnosis safe, so you can go to the apps section, and really soon we're going to have the Gnosis auction starter app featured in the apps section. For now, if you want to try it like really soon, then ping me and I'll give you the link to add it manually. And yeah, and here there's just a bunch of parameters that need to be defined. So the auctioning token, for now I'm using XDAI stake. I'm going to do this auction on XDAI because it's nice to pay less gas. And you need to define also the bidding token, in this case WXDAI. And I'm going to sell three XDAI stake tokens, and I want at least 50 DAI in return to this 3 XDAI stake. So those two parameters, if you divide them, you get the minimum price for the auction, or the starting price of the auction. In this case, I don't know, maybe roughly 17 or 17 DAI or something. And the last two parameters is actually required in order to start an auction. Is first of all the auction end date. So this defines the duration of the auction. And we also recommend to set order cancellation end time, because essentially people can kind of manipulate the auction prices if they are allowed to cancel orders. They can submit very, very high bids and cancel them just in the last moment. And for that, we have the order cancellation end time. So in this case, I will set this in let's say 5 minutes, and then the end time in less than 10 minutes. And we are ready to launch the auction. Minimum bidding amount you'd also need to set, so the amount of bidding tokens that people need to minimally contribute in order to participate in the auction. So let's hope it's going to actually work. That was a stressful moment, but it seems like it's okay. Okay. So once the transaction is mined, we will be able to look at the Gnosis Auction app, and we already see the auction live. So it's that simple to set up an auction. Okay, we have the transaction mined. Actually, there is a different problem with the ENS domain right now. So I will share here in the chat the IPFS hash directly. So if people want to go and check it out, I'll share it in the Gnosis Auction channel here in the server. And let's try to refresh and see if our auction is already live. Cool, nice. So it's live here, and we see actually I'm selling 3 stake, and the minimum price is 0.606 stake per XDAI. I think it will be nicer to see it the other way around, so 16 XDAI per stake. Yeah, and in terms of the bidder interface, so anyone that's coming here can actually now place their bid. And let's say I want to buy $10 worth of stake, and I want to pay maximum of $20 per token, and I immediately see already here in the chart, I see my my order in the chart. I will need to approve first the WXDAI. And then I can place my order. And yeah, my order is in. I don't know if I just missed the time for cancellation, so cancellations are not allowed anymore. And yeah, so now there's still 3 minutes that I can place more bids if I want. And last thing is in 3 minutes I will show you how to clear the auction, and basically we're done with the whole flow of setting up an auction, bidding and clearing it. Nice. So yeah, we have 2.5 minutes until I can show you the clearing of the auction. In the meantime, I guess next thing is we're going to have we're going to have a Q&A section. So if people want to start asking questions, you're definitely welcome to start asking whatever you have to ask. Anyone want to entertain us in the meantime?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it possible, if we have an optional whitelisting, to actually put a maximum amount which can be bought? So not only minimum, but maximum as well? Because for whitelisted wallets, it makes sense. For without whitelisting, probably no sense.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we figured out that it will be a useful feature, and it's on our kind of backlog to work on this. But this will require smart contract changes, so it's not going to be something that we will have very soon. But yeah, it's definitely something that we want to add. For now, for your question, so for now there's only minimum amount and no maximum.
Yeah. Another question. When I studied your smart contracts, I noticed that you have this clearing job. Is currently all the clearing jobs are done by Gnosis, or do the project need to run those on their own? How is it handled?
I'm not sure I got your question.
I mean, is it fully automatic right now? Like you just launch auction and all the matching are done by Gnosis?
Yeah, so there is a last step of clearing the auction, like triggering the clearing, and it requires also paying the gas for the clearing. Everything is done on chain, so it's fairly automatic, but you will need to trigger another kind of transaction. So here you can see the auction has ended, and the auction ID is 16. So with this auction ID, I can go and clear the auction. Now it's in the auction claiming period, and I need to go to the command line. I'm not sure that you would be able to see that. Maybe. So the clearing of the auction could be done by anyone. Let me try and see if I can share my entire screen. Clearing of the auction could be done by anyone. It just requires that you would pay the gas. So usually the auctioneer will be the one that clears the auction. If there's an arbitrage opportunity, it might be even a third party that clears the auction and do the arbitrage. I'm going to use auction ID 16, and let's see if I'm able to clear this auction.
Does the gas cost for clearing depends on the amount of bids? And what is the general estimate for the gas usage?
It's definitely depend on the amount of bids. So we did something nice in Gnosis Auction that basically the amount of bids is not limited even by the Ethereum block size. So auctions could be cleared over several blocks, and obviously as you have more bids, you will need to pay a higher gas cost to clear the auction. And with regard to estimation, I would need to look into it and estimate it. I think it's definitely, if you're talking about Ethereum mainnet, it's definitely in the hundreds of dollars to clear an auction. So it's for example, for ITO, I think it's definitely reasonable. For smaller size use cases, we have deployed the smart contracts on the XDAI so people can do smaller value auctions.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Seems like maybe there's a node problem with XDAI. I hope we can clear the auction. Yeah, if this goes through, I will also show you how to claim tokens. But essentially, I can say I'm done with the demo. So I think we have one last slide. We want to kind of make everyone aware of the Safe App grant program. Everyone that's interested to build a Safe App and receive $10,000 for that is definitely welcome. And yeah, and maybe if we are already talking about this kind of things, Gnosis is hiring for various positions, and if anyone of the community wants to join, please go to our website and apply for the open positions.